the mic in. But the mic, I don't know, y'all. I don't like wearing it like this, but then a lot of people get mad when I'm holding the mic. But let's see. I think it should be good right now. So we're here to talk about the top 4 horror movies of 2024. Now, these are not my choices, y'all. I did a community post about 2 days ago, and I let it run for 2 days. I was gonna let it run for 1 day, but then yesterday it was just like a blur. I didn't get the chance to go into it, so more people got the vote. Overall, I am seeing that there is about 5,000 votes or so. So we're gonna wait a bit before we talk and discuss all about this. Hope everybody's doing good. We're doing these lives more often. We're trying to do more on the channel. We're trying to really get the channel going. So let's see if I can adjust this light a little bit better. And is that better for y'all? Does that look better? I don't know. You know, I need to get a new tripod and everything for my light. I need to get new lights and stuff too. That's a big thing. I had clamp lights and everything I was using, and then there was like a little misfire going on around, and I lost all of those. So it's a big thing I'm trying to do now is get those clamp lights back. But yeah, we're here to discuss the top 4 horror movies of 2024 chosen by everybody on the community post that I posted a couple of days ago. And it was a pretty interesting one because I did 3 different ones because I can't post more than one all of them on one post, which I was trying to do, so it'd be a lot easier to understand. But on the first one, we had Terrifier 3, we had Longlegs, Alien Romulus, and Smile. That one had 1,000 votes overall, and it was unanimous. Terrifier 3 won like that whole poll right there. So Terrifier 3 came in at 49% of the votes, so that was about 500 votes just for Terrifier 3. Longlegs came in 3rd place with 11%, which is about 100 votes. Then Alien Romulus came in with 6%, which is about like maybe 70. And Smile 2 came in 2nd place with 33% of the votes, which is about 300, which was interesting. I don't know if I did that right in my head, actually. But yeah, that was like the whole thing right there. So Terrifier 3 moved on to the finale, which, by the way, you can go vote for the top 4 horror movies right now on the channel if you want, and we will be having a discussion on that as well. So in the other categories, we had this group that it consisted of A Quiet Place Day 1. You also had The First Omen, The Substance, and Late Night with the Devil. That one got about 900 something votes, and Late Night with the Devil soared with 55%. So it got more of a percentage than Terrifier 3, which gives it a little bit of a advantage, I feel. Hi, Lucas. And The Strangers, I did like The Strangers aspects about it a lot. I'm curious to see, though, how they want to go with it. I know a lot of people didn't really like it, but I'm interested in seeing what they want to do. Like, I'm intrigued, you know, but I do see why people don't like it as well. But yeah, I'm interested in seeing what they want to do with the next 2 movies because I'm interested in that. But yeah, the Late Night with the Devil won that group right there with 55% of the votes. And then in 2nd place, you had The Substance with 21% of the votes. And then you had A Quiet Place Day 1 with 13%. And then The First Omen with 11%. So from that group, we have Late Night with the Devil moving on to the finale. So now we have Terrifier 3, and then we have Late Night with the Devil. The next one was the most voted on, perhaps, out of all of them. And this one included Immaculate, Cuckoo, and Oddity. And so we had Cuckoo and Oddity and Immaculate going head to head. And we also had an other category where people could vote if they didn't see the movie that they liked on there. And some people commented Strange Darling, which was a movie that I know a lot of people considered a horror as well. And I really do think that Strange Darling is one of the best movies I watched all year as well. I really enjoyed that one at Fantastic Fest the year prior. But ultimately, what we saw win in that category was Oddity, a movie that I think was so slept on, and I'm very excited to see a lot of people actually watched it because Oddity came in with 74% of the votes. But yeah, it's interesting. The Equalizer, yeah, I do like The Equalizer. I haven't watched the latest Equalizer movie yet. I do want to watch that, but I remember watching the first one. I really liked that one a lot. So yeah, now we have the 4 in the finale right now, which is already getting off to 20 votes, as I just posted that a couple of minutes ago. In that, we have Terrifier 3 going up against Late Night with the Devil, Oddity, and Smile 2. Now, what we're going to do with that is the top 2 performers in that group will go on to a finale, and that's when we're going to vote for the best horror movie of 2024 according to all of you, and we're going to do a video on everything. Now, I do plan to talk more about each of these horror films. I'm doing a long video right now where I talk about every single horror movie I watched in 2024, and we dive deep into it and discuss all about it. So far, that video is about 30 minutes long, and we're just up until June. I think this year is when I watched the most horror movies I've watched in a long time, so I'm very excited to do that video finally and talk more about that. But yeah, it's an interesting thing right here. The horror movies of 2024. It's been such a great year for horror. There's still some horror movies coming out, like Heretic's coming out this weekend, which I think is a great horror film. We also have Nosferatu as well coming out. And I think it's an interesting thing with all of these movies that are just coming out and making these like horror films throughout the year. And this whole thing with the current community votes and all of that we're doing is interesting to see, because I was very surprised with how many votes Oddity came in with, because I felt like Oddity, I didn't really hear a lot of people talking about it, which was a thing that was very sad about that, because I really loved Oddity and I just wanted to do a lot better. It did pretty good once it started streaming, which I've heard. And I really liked that as well, that it was doing a great job when it streamed. It was in theaters for a bit as well, which I really liked, that it was able to go into theaters. I didn't watch it in theaters though, because it didn't play around me long enough to be able to go watch it, but I did watch it once it was on Shudder, and I did like Audit a lot. It had one of the best jump scares too. It really got me. It wasn't just a movie that, like the first couple of minutes of Oddity are some of the scariest ones for sure. Like, it's just like you have no idea what's going on. So that was interesting there. But I'm curious what's gonna win, honestly, because I wasn't expecting these to go into the finale. Like, I thought more people were gonna vote for like Alien Romulus and Longlegs. I kind of had a feeling, because I know a lot of people felt a little betrayed by Longlegs. They felt that it wasn't what it was marketed to be and all of that, and I totally get that. I'm curious what y'all think about that, about Longlegs, if it was what you expected it to be marketed as, because I know a lot of people that have talked to me after or commented on the video said that was just not the movie I thought it was going to be, and I didn't like it. So I'm curious to see what people are saying about that. And then Smile 2 was one of those movies that I was very hesitant on when I was first going in to watch it, because I was thinking, is this going to live up to the first one, and what exactly is it going to be? And I thought it was a bit too long too when I saw how long the runtime was. So I was very curious about how Smile 2 is going to perform, and it did pretty good actually. And I'm curious to see where they're taking Smile 3 next. So we'll see, we'll see. Longlegs, I have not watched it a second time. I know it's streaming and I do want to watch it again. I've only watched it once and that was it, but there's so much about it that I want to discuss about this movie, and I want to watch it again. There's so many things that people tell me you catch on a second watch, so I'm curious about that. Terrifier 3 as well, being a very interesting movie that just completely dominated even more than I was expecting. I knew that the second one was big, but I didn't expect the third one to be this big, honestly. Like, I did expect it to make its budget and make money and all of that, but it definitely is proving that Terrifier, there's no stopping it. And it really is a thing to see a movie like this really doing so good at the box office. I'm curious to see how Heretic will do this weekend as well, as it really doesn't have much horror other movies like it to compete with this weekend. And I've watched Heretic already twice, and I do think it is an interesting movie, but at the same time I feel like there's a lot in it that I think a lot of people won't be expecting, and it might not really vibe with a lot of people, but we'll see. We'll talk about it once it's out as well. And then I think all we have left is just next month we have Nosferatu, which I have not seen yet, but apparently I think there's going to be some screenings this week, I think in New York. So that should be interesting to hear what people say about it then. And other than that, that's it for November. We just have Gladiator 2, we have Wicked, and then I think in December we have The Brutalist, Nosferatu. Those are like the big movies I can think about. And of course, those aren't really horror films or any of that, but I'm just thinking like Nosferatu and Heretic are pretty much the last horror movies we're getting in the theater, like a big release. So we'll see what happens with those. I'm still going to be excited about them, and watching them. But I'm curious who's gonna win this last like poll we're doing right now. So far at 30 votes, Terrifier 3 is ahead. I'm gonna run the poll if you want to go vote on it right now in the community post. It's gonna run all the way up until tomorrow at 10 p.m. and then we'll talk about the winner on the weekend. We'll do a live, or I'll do a whole video about it. And I am gonna be discussing every single horror movie I've watched in 2024. I've already filmed half of it. I'm up until June and it's already almost like 20 minutes long. So that should be a fun one. It should be good. But appreciate everybody who hopped on to listen. And if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us wherever you can, and go vote on the community poll for your favorite horror film of 2024. We made it down to the last 4 after doing all of these polls, and I'm curious to see which one y'all think is the best. So go vote on that one and we'll discuss it even more. But as always, that is going to do it for me. We're going to be doing more lives, so stay tuned for that. I want to get a schedule of them, so I'm not just randomly popping up here and doing lives, so stay tuned. But anyways, as always, I'll see all of you next time. Stay safe and stay positive.